Omagyana Timirandasya Gyana Jana Salakaya Sakso Numalitam Jena Tasmai Si Guruve Namaha Sichetanya Manobhistam Sthapetam Jena Bhutale Swayam Rupam Kadamayam Badati Swa Padantikam Vancha Kalpatari Brenta Vipasim Vicha Patitanam Pavadubhyo Vaishnavya Namaha Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pistaya Bhutale Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Swami Iti Namani Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pacharani Nimisisa Swami Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadara Sivasari Gaura Bhakta Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So thank you everyone for sparing your precious time to come. And weekends are always very busy for people in America, and especially a busy city like New York. So for you to spare your precious time to come for gathering of devotees, it means you love Krishna. Because, you see, there are so many people who could say they're very busy. And yes, we are very busy. But then, we are not paying anything. We are not paying any bills for the 24 hours Krishna has given to us. We are not paying any bills. It's free. They say gratis. I mean, it's like the oxygen we are breathing is also free. 24 hours of the day, we're not paying any dime. So I remember one of my friends in Michigan, he told me a story. I don't know whether I told this story before here. My friend, he told me a story. He's an IT guy. He had a master's in IT and was working in Michigan, bought a house, and then later he went to India to get married. So but then he got married, and the lady came. Lady, she's not from Vaishnava family, but she's a vegetarian. And then at that time, when he got married, he was very busy doing some services in the temple in Michigan, in Detroit. So we are very close friends, so he invited me to his place a number of times. And at the time, when he got married, he was chanting 8 rounds. But he was very, very service-oriented in the temple. But when he got married, he had a responsibility, because the Shastra says, don't be a husband, don't be a guru, don't be... He's looking at me. It's not me saying it. This is what the Bhagavatam says. He said, don't be a guru, don't be a worshipful demigod, don't be a father, don't be a mother, if you are not in a position to enable your dependents to be freed from the cycle of birth and death. You hearing this? You hearing? Yeah. It's not me saying, this is what the Shastra says. This is what the Bhagavatam says. So, he was preaching to his wife to chant. And the lady was very much addicted to reading Indian newspapers late into the night online. So he kept preaching. And then at some point in time, the lady realized, well, what's wrong with me? Come on. I need to chant. What my husband is saying is the real thing for me. What's wrong with my mind? So she decided that, all right, I must chant. So she started chanting. She started with 60 rounds. She started with 60 rounds. At the time, husband was still chanting 8 rounds. So then it went on for some times. So one day, he decided to educate the husband. He decided to call the husband. When she was happy, husband was also happy. Husband thought, it's a conversation that will augment, that will regenerate and augment their loving relationship. So she said, see, Krishna gave you 24 hours. Krishna gave you 24 hours, and now he's asking for only 2 hours from you. And you're literally like saying, I will think about it. He said, what type of a person are you? Someone gave you 24 hours for nothing, you're not paying any bills. And then he said, give me 2 hours now. And you are hesitant to give? My friend told me this story. He said, that was like a total humiliation for him. This woman that he was preaching to her, the child, is the one now preaching to him. So the point is, Krishna brings somebody in our life to help us. The bitter truth might be harsh. So someone tells us to help themselves or to help ourselves to do something for Krishna. It's for our own betterment. It's not for that person. So then my friend, he told me right from that day himself, he started chanting 16 hours. Because the wife brought up this issue and was like, saying, hey, what about person are you? You could be just a miser. It's like, so sometimes we encounter situations that those who are chanting, they're thinking it's very easy. I'm doing it. Why are you not doing it? But we have to be compassionate to people. Because people come to the movement, people become exposed to Krishna consciousness. Not by chance. Prabhupada mentions in the Nectar of Devotion that those who come to Krishna consciousness, they are all people who did not complete their spiritual journey in their past life. So Krishna gives us the chance to continue. Now, how we take it seriously it depends on us. But then the environment should be conducive. And some people are born in a real devotionally enabling environment. Like, she's born a devotee, born family of devotees, a brother, and now you have these kids. Mm-hmm. The parents are bringing them to Krishna consciousness. There are some of us, even in Russia, people were not allowed to practice devotional life. Even not in Russia. See, I was born in Africa before I migrated to the United States on the basis of scholarship. But even when we joined, there are some families who send military people to the temple to scoop out their kids. And not bring them to the family, send them to detention camps. And so here you find some people, they're so lucky, the parents are the ones saying, hey, let's go for satsang. So that's a precious, a great fortune. And everyone is fortunate who comes to Krishna consciousness. The important thing is that we have to prioritize and see how we are giving a chance to ourselves by bringing in some practice of devotion in our lives. Because without that practice of devotion, we become like slaves. And without the practice of devotion, we are not sure, even if we become the president of the United States, what is going to happen to us. I mean, we see the case of Trump. So you can be a multi-billionaire or a trillionaire, and without devotional practice, your life is very dicey. Your life is hanging on a balance. Because you become susceptible, become vulnerable to all types of misdirected decisions, and you're bound to become entangled in ways that you can't even imagine. So people get into trouble in this world. It's not that they planned for it. Nobody planned to get into trouble. But people get into trouble. And so devotional life protects us from trouble. So I'll give you a vivid example. That, one of the positive side effects of engaging in devotional service, positive side effect of chanting, for instance, one of the positive side effects is that one becomes ethical, one becomes completely immune to the enslavement of the mind and the sensory modalities. So let me explain that. You see, virtually or almost entirely, everybody on this planet is a slave to the senses and the mind. Oh, yeah. And there are no policies in place to fight against that slavery. No one is even perceiving it. It becomes a normal life. And so the normality is such that it creates a lot of ambiguities and people become more and more entangled. Families are ruptured. Yeah, we find cases where a man is married to a very beautiful wife. He sees another lady, not even as beautiful as his wife, and then the senses become attracted to that. And then the wife gets to know, and the wife signs off. C'est fini. And so people don't seem to identify this, but it's a problem that is rocking our families, rocking our communities, disrupting relationships, especially when you have children in a family. Is so dastardly dangerous. And therefore, one of the elements of Christian consciousness is that we become immune to that slavery of the mind and the senses. You can say no, my mind. No. But the people who are not devotees, whatever the mind tells them is what they follow. Whatever the mind dictates to them, whatever the senses dictate, that's it. They are good followers. Followership. We are all good followers of the mind and the senses. If we can dovetail that followership in Krishna consciousness, we become perfect human beings. And we become emblem of exemplary standard for the whole world. Because in this world, if you go to some place, for instance, and then you just tell someone, I'm a vegetarian, they say, what? They look at you like you're a different person. But these are simple things that our practices allow us or permit us to do, that not to mention about even chanting. So the habits are very good for sustainable development. The habits are very good for health. The values are very encouraging for creating harmonizations in our relationships, in our families. So Krishna consciousness, the basic principle is that we see each and everybody as Krishna's part and parcel. And what does that imply? Even your own child, you don't see the child as a property, you see the child as Krishna's part and parcel under your care. You're not the proprietor. So the people, sometimes some parents, they think that the child is their property. But then you realize that even in everyday reality, the child is not your property. If you like, do something wrong to your child. And especially in America, when they call the police, you're in trouble. Then you realize it's not your property. You're just a caretaker. So, Krishna consciousness enables us to consolidate our position as caretakers. We don't own anything. Even your wife, you're not you're not the proprietor. Oh yeah.
Or taken care of.
Right. So this is the beauty of Krishna consciousness. It's full of sociological ideologies, not just talking about how to get out from this material world and go back home, back to God, but it also creates an avenue where we can develop sustainable relationships that will create a viable future for the community. Because nobody wants to be treated harshly. Even your child doesn't want to be treated harshly. I remember in Washington, D.C., so I was in this home where my Guru Maharaja used to stay in Maryland. And so they had 2 kids. And so the younger, I was overhearing the conversation between the mother and then the younger one. And the younger one was politely asking the mother, "So Mom, so that's why you spoke to me so harshly?" And then the mother, immediately, she has to refine that. She said, no, that's not what I meant. She had to reformat her situation to be able to appease that guy that she was not being harsh on him. Because we have emotions. And so the laws don't really help a lot because laws don't reform people so much. Otherwise, you wouldn't have recidivism. Recidivism means someone is put in jail for one crime, and that is supposed to be like a deterrent. But no, they come out, they commit the same crime again. Why? What's the cause of recidivism? Why people have to commit the same crime again for what they've been put in jail for? Yes, can someone tell us? Follower of the mind and the senses. Yeah. Good followers of the mind and the senses. Incidentally, this is not just a religious ideology, but in the field of criminology, due to study crime, you can become a criminologist, you can do your PhD in criminology, and But even lawyers don't know why there is crime. If you ask any lawyer, try it. And I have a number of lawyers as disciples, okay? So in the beginning, I used to tease them, So what is the cause of crime? And some will just be overt, will clear with you that that's not why we study in law school. We study in law school how to win cases in the court. So people commit crimes, people commit violence against each other. Violence means when you hurt somebody, because that is the definition of violence according to the American Psychological Science Association. When we hurt somebody, that is violence. And the reason why we don't eat meat, fish, or eggs is that we are trying to be non-violent. So if you hurt your spouse, you're committing violence. You are already broken one of the principles, one of the 4 regulatory principles. So, the teachings of Krishna consciousness are very much helpful in liberating society, at least ethically, morally, and spiritually. Because we understand that everyone is part and parcel of Krishna. Mama evam so jiva loke, jiva bhuta sinanta. And with that understanding, we can relate to people in a better way. Not just exploiters, not just as slaves. We don't treat people like slaves. If you're your spouse, you can't treat them like slaves. Just because you're the breadwinner, so what? In America, of course, if you marry, it's 50-50. Oh, yeah. So, Krishna has given us all the facilities. Krishna has given us big brains as humans, not to just sit down like robots to be dictated to before we are. A Krishna consciousness is good for us, and therefore we have to take it. And it's not a big thing. It begins just with your tongue. Seva mukhe hi jiva do. Take prasadam. Even dogs can take prasadam. Even pigeons can take prasadam. But that is the beginning of our spiritual life. And so we should be interested in taking prasadam. We should prepare prasadam in our homes, offer it, and also give it to people. Because the power of prasadam cannot be underestimated. I remember I had a professor, he was the head of the department for classics, and he was one of my chief editors for the journals that I published for. And what I was doing, each time I'm going to his office, and he has like three beautiful lady secretaries who are working in that, because he's the head of the department who are working in that office. But what I was doing was, each time I'm going there, I get some real nice prasadam. And these people who were not really practicing Krishna consciousness, they became so much interested in Krishna consciousness. Just for the prasadam. Oh, yeah. The problem was that each time I want to go there without prasadam, I'm scared because I will be harassed, which is a good harassment. Where is that your food? So there are several ways we can help people, and we try to help people. The more we try to help people, the more Krishna helps us. I remember one devotee in Louisiana. She and her husband, they invited me. She's a psychiatric doctor. And then what she was doing was to make real, very nice cookies. Each day she's going to the office, she packs all of these cookies, puts it on her table. And her colleagues, when they come, they just pick the cookies. They eat. And then after that, she set up a lunch at home because she was living in the hospital premises. Her house was in the hospital premises. Herself and her husband lived there. And she would invite all of these, our colleagues, the doctors, to come for lunch. And when they come for lunch, she set up like a mini food for life for all these doctors. And when they come for lunch, they're eating, she sets up, a proper, she has a big screen, TV screen in her house, set up a proper lecture on the TV screen, and these doctors, they're eating and then hearing proper. So there are several ways we can help people. And the more we try to help people to liberate society, introduce Krishna consciousness to them, the more Krishna helps us. Even little kids can do this. So in New York, place like New York, environment is very tense, mode of passion, and we need to insulate ourselves from the effects of the mode of passion so that we don't get into trouble. And the way to insulate ourselves, one of the primary ways to insulate ourselves is to chant. The chanting, I compare it to a soldier who is going to the war front. And if you chant every day, you are building up high resistance. And just like the soldier who puts on an armor, jacket, boots, helmet. Why they put the armor clothing? Because the soldier is an endangered species. You're going to the war front. You're an endangered species. Bullets, even a stray bullet could run you down. But when you have the armor, the bullet comes, touch you, and then it falls down. So A devotee is like a soldier, and the material life is a warfare. If you don't know, better know it. It is a warfare. We are doing our own Kurukshetra war. We may not know, but this is going on. We have to deal with the senses. We have to fight with the senses. We have to fight with the illusory energy, fight with the modes of passion, ignorance. So it's a warfare. And therefore, when we do our chanting every day, it's like the soldier who is going to the war front, fully armed and bulletproof. However, if we are not chanting, it's like the soldier who is going to the war front, we on swimming pants. We're not sure whether he's going to come back. Yeah. And that is why even the people who are even president of the country, governor, senator, congresswoman, congressman, and we have seen a lot of that in America here. A lot of people, they go up, they go down. The same problem.
Stop it.
The same problem. Okay, so let's see how we are giving small time to japa every day. Any comments or questions?
But how we can increase our bhakti?
Our bhakti, yeah, by regulating ourselves. Christians have said we should regulate our eating, our sleeping, everything. In fact, Prabhupada said that even our eating, we should eat half the stomach full of prasadam, 1/4 water, 1/4 air. When we do that, we will always be alert and we will increase our bhakti. If we don't do that, if we circumvent this principle, and then maybe we eat the whole stomach filled with prasadam. You know what happens? You just fall asleep.
Yes.
And before you know, 2 hours are gone. 2 hours are gone. Yeah. So how to increase the bhakti? Regulating ourselves. Self-regulation. Self-regulation. And you see, it looks like it's a simple thing. It is not a simple thing because now so many books have been written on this, especially in this digital culture, where I know people who failed from college because of internet and smartphones. Yeah. I know people who lost their jobs because of internet and smartphones. Yeah. Oh, yeah. So, self-regulation, yukta hara vihara syat, yukta shetasa kamas. Krishna has given us this instruction over 5,000 years ago. It has been there millions of years ago, but he reinterpreted it over 5,000 years ago on the battlefield of Kurukshetra. And you know what? The same self-regulation which Krishna inaugurated as a model, you go to Google Scholar and Google self-regulation. You see so many models, theories of self-regulation. Krishna is the original theories of self-regulation. See, sometimes, we are reading the scriptures, practicing, and if we are not broad, really, for instance, in academia, we think that, why all these so many, rules and all these things. But you go to criminology, these same principles are there. Because some of us don't know, we think it's a religious principle. No, but it's a scientific principle. So we increase our bhakti by being first principle is being self-regulated. We go to bed on time so that we can wake up on time to do our japa before we go out. If we are not self-regulated, we cannot go to bed on time. And therefore, we cannot wake up on time. And therefore, we cannot increase our bhakti. The bhakti becomes like a struggle. It becomes like a duty. It shouldn't be a duty. It should be done with love and affection. Bhakti should be done with love and affection, not like duty. You struggle so much to chant 16 rounds because you don't wake up on time, because you don't go to bed on time, because you eat and fill up the whole stomach and therefore you knock off. I'm serious. And therefore you just knock off, Try practice this. Eat half of your stomach, 1/4 water, 1/4 air, and you see. By the time you say you finish eating, you're still feeling hungry. But no, go away. And you see how you're going to be very agile. Focus, doing things sharply. Yeah. So the watchword to increase bhakti is self-regulation. Krishna giving that in the Gita. Any other comments or questions? Yes.
So earlier you spoke about having compassion for those. And so I'm just wondering how you keep compassion or maintain compassion for people who tend to make the same mistake over and over again, whether that be ourselves or other people.
Bhaktisiddhanta says that we should forgive unlimitedly. But see, I get you. We are human beings. We have emotions. We have our limitations. We can't overstretch ourselves. First of all, we have to put ourselves together to be able to help someone. And someone is becoming too destructive. Why worry yourself for the person? Move on to the next person to help out. I mean, it's like I adopt that same principle now because sometimes, a long time ago, I used to be like openly friendly with everybody. I give my time here and there, time there and there. But I realized that that's not really helping me and helping others who are serious. Let me focus on those who want to learn, those who want to make progress. There are some people who are not even ready, and we should be able to evaluate, make the assessment very quickly. I mean, it's like you go out from book distribution. Okay, you give a book to this person. And just for the first 1 minute, you should be able to evaluate to figure out, is it ready or not? If it's not ready, move to the next person. So yeah, compassion. We should be compassionate to everybody, but then we should be very good assessors of people. If we don't make the proper assessments, then we can waste our whole day talking with somebody who will at the end tell you, no, I disagree with you, I don't agree with you.
What are the marks? What are the signs that somebody is ready?
Or what are the signs that somebody is ready? It's a good listener. Yeah, it's a good listener. It might be weak in deliberation in terms of decision, in terms of deciding whether they have to follow this system or not, but they're good listeners. If someone is not a good listener, it is very difficult. Even ourselves, we need to be good listeners. Because if we are good listeners, people will pick up interest. They will struggle. If even they're having difficulties, they will struggle to be able to transcend difficulty, to come to the platform where they can practice. So it requires listening. Sometimes people tend to be uncomfortable in giving quality time to others. Or sometimes people claim that they're excessively unavailable. But everybody can make some time regarding availability. It is very important if even we give a minute of quality time to somebody, they will value that. They will not forget us. Yeah. Unfortunately, in America, but I enjoy America because of that rugged individualism. Okay? Because I remember when I was in Africa, even shaving, there are so many devotees there who are ready to shave you. But when I came to America, I learned to shave myself because this is a country of rugged individualism. But at the same time, we should take the culture we are living in, we should take the essential things that will facilitate our growth and the growth of others and leave the rest. We should not imbibe everything in the culture. Because otherwise, we will not be happy ourselves and will not be available to help others. Because what that rugged individualism brings is that we're not interested to listen to anybody. Don't waste my time. Don't waste my time. I remember one of my friends, when he just came into this country, he was working in a gas station. And so he didn't know how to operate one of the machines. So he went into the office to request the clerk there to come and show him how to operate one machine. And then what the clerk told him? He said, "Hey, you are in America. This is a land where you have to function by yourself. Go figure things out yourself." Yeah, so this is the culture, okay? Rugged individualism. But this is not good for spiritual development. Spiritual development implies that we are available to help people, to create some leverage in the life of people. And when we do that, Krishna reciprocates with us. Yeah. Any other comments? Have some comments? Question?
Maharaj, what was the term you said? Rocket?
Rugged individualism.
Okay. Rugged individualism. Oh.
Yeah.
I
It's
really
very-
like, sorry. But we, in the night we do puja and jap, and in the morning also, and in the afternoon 2 or 3 hours we meditate. But we have some questions about what is Krishna, what do they say, and it is very difficult to learn Gita. So, what to do? And in the sleep, I also see God. But I think my devotion is very less.
Yeah. Yeah, I see. I mentioned earlier, the Prabhupada mentions in the nectar of devotion, that those people come to Krishna consciousness because they did not finish their devotional life in the past. And so here is a continuation. And whether you like it or not, you have to continue. And so I was in Chile, there is this lawyer who came to the temple with his family, 13 years old girl and a wife. And, why they came? Because the girl, 13 years old girl, she saw Krishna in a dream. She was dancing with Krishna in a dream. And then she woke up from the dream, and then she said, I want to go to any temple, Krishna temple. She didn't tell the parents why she wanted that. They've never been to the temple. But the mom, our parents are initiated devotees. But this girl was not introduced to chanting or anything. I don't know whether the mom was even practicing. But that was why they came to the temple. Krishna came to this girl. They were dancing. And so she was so excited. This guy was so handsome, so attractive. And so when she woke up from the dream, she told the parents that she wants to go to any Hare Krishna temple.
I go in the temple.
Mm-hmm. So,
But sometimes there are questions in ourselves.
so we should ask questions. We have some devotees who can help us always to ask, to respond, answer our questions. Like this, Prabhu is here, and there are all the devotees also around in the communities. So we should connect with the group like you are coming to this satsang, it's a good team. And then we have some questions. You ask the devotees in the group. If they are not able to respond, answer your questions, they will also make a reference to the senior devotee. And this is how we learn. Life is meant for questioning. Devotional life, you see, anybody can answer a question. Everybody cannot ask a question. Because asking a question requires a lot of critical and creative thinking.
I'm reading Prabhupada's book, Shri Krishna.
Good.
And I finished 500 pages also.
Very good. Very good. Very good. You see, that's why Krishna is coming to you in the dream. Yeah, look at somebody reading over 500 pages. He's finished reading that. And so you're reading these books. They are according to when Vishnu was discussing with Lakshmi in the Gita Mahatmya. Vishnu said that his literatures, like the Gita and the Bhagavatam, they're not different from him. Because they're talking about his pastimes, his activities. Because Krishna is absolute. And so you read in the books, you get purified. And then it is no surprise, Krishna comes to you in a dream. Yeah. So when you have questions, you ask the devotees who are in your satsang group. And if they are not able to answer, you can also ask the devotee who is coming to help. This is how we learn. We should ask questions. See, I remember when I was doing my master's, I did my master's in education and philosophy, and one of the courses we did was critical and creative thinking. And in critical and creative thinking course, you're given like 5 lines, a paragraph of 5 lines, and you have to generate 35 questions. It can be in any field. That paragraph could be from any field. And you have to create, to bring up 35 questions in 5 lines. So we are trained to think critically and creatively. So to ask a question, sometimes people think it's easy, or sometimes someone asks a question and then we blast them, this is... So to ask a question is not an easy job. Someone asks a question, we should be attentive and answer the question. If we are not in position, we are not able to answer the question, we should seek for help and respond to the question, because it takes a lot of thought provocation to be able to ask a question. Yes, any other comments or questions?
Maharaj, you said followers of senses.
Eh?
You said followers of senses, right? We are good followers of senses.
We are, right, yeah.
So I was thinking, does that bother you too? Do you follow the senses too? And if you do, how do you bring it back?
Because, for instance, if I'm feeling sleepy, sometimes because of my type of service as a research fellow and Swami work is not difficult to integrate research and Swami work and guru. It's challenging. Okay, so what happens that sometimes the 24 hours is not enough for me, so I'm trying to see. But then for instance, if it is perhaps 10:30, then you feel pressure to sleep. So that is the senses. Okay, you desire to keep working, but then you're conditioned. Hey, sleep. So in a sense, there is in some situations we can't resist it. But then in the case of ethical and unethical behavior, the devotee is trained to resist unethical dictates from the mind and the senses. That's the difference there. There are natural ways that we are forced to follow the senses and the mind. For instance, sleeping, hunger. If you're hungry, you can say, well, I'm not eating. And if you say you're not eating, you're creating some problem also in the stomach. This is how some people get ulcer. Ulcer simply means that the hydrochloric acid in the stomach, once it digests food, there is nothing. So it starts digesting, eating up the stomach walls. Yes, this is how to get into trouble. But we're not saying that people should not fast. If you're fasting, just be aware that too much of it could create some trouble. Yeah. So in a sense, we're followers of the senses and the mind. We eat, we talk, but we should regulate it. That's what Prabhupada said. And that's what Krishna said in the Gita. Self-regulation. Yuktahar viharasya. Yeah. The eating, ahara, we have to regulate it. Yeah. We are followers, but we have to regulate it. Yeah. Yes, and then the last question. The young people should say something.
She always have many questions.
So she should ask today.
I don't know why she's not asking today.
Ask a question. All right. In the absence of any other comments or questions, we have to join this meeting.
I have a last question.
Please.
Yeah.
So, in the Sapta Yuga, there was, I read from somewhere that the good and the bad part was living in different world. Treta Yuga, it comes to the same world, but in a different area. Kali Yuga, it comes with the same family. So, the good, some people good, some people bad, and they start fighting. And in the Kali Yuga, it comes with the same human being, the two different things. So it start fighting each other. So how we can get rid of those things and become the Krishna? Krishna side is always fighting with that negative part.
Mm-hmm. The negative part is the conditioned mind. You see, we have this body made up of Bhumi, Apa, Nala, Vayu, Kam, Mana, Buddhi, Ahankar, earth, water, fire, air, ether, mind, intelligence, false ego. And then we have the subtle body, a dream body, which is the mind. The gross ones are earth, fire, air, ether, earth, water, fire, air, and ether. These are the gross elements. We have this dream body. It's made up of mind, intelligence, and the ego. And the mind is what is conditioning us. Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna explains that one who's conquered the mind becomes liberated already. So the mind gives us all types of ideas, conflicting ideas. The senses, they drag us here and there. And the bad thing is that the role models of society, they teach us the opposite way. They just say, follow your mind. I remember when I was small, there was this celebrity, Jimmy Cliff. He debuted an album titled Follow My Mind. And in the lyrics, he's saying, just follow your mind, and you'll be fine. And we were little kids, and we loved that, that track like anything. Why? Because it's empowering us to just do whatever you like. So we are conditioned, and we have this within the fight within. The mind is telling us something that is contrary to Guru, Sadhu, and Sastra. And therefore, people who are intelligent enough, they are in Krishna consciousness. They take to the holy names, the chanting, and that purifies the mind and the senses, and they can say no to the dictates of the mind and senses. Otherwise, it has caused people to lose their jobs, caused people to go to jail. I remember the case of this lady, she's late now, in Washington State, Seattle area. There was this lady, she was a super beauty. Her father was a professor, white lady. The neck, this lady, so long, but superlatively beautiful. She was a teacher. You know how she lost her job? She went to jail. The mind, uncontrolled mind, the senses. She was having an affair with a 12 years old girl, a 12 years old boy. At that time, she was 34 years old. And in America, 12 years old, some 12 years old could be really. I know one of these boys in Washington, D.C., when he was 12, he was taller than me. Oh, yeah. And this lady, she lost her job. She lost her husband. At that time, when she got swayed away like that, she already had 2 kids with the husband. And the husband was a responsible guy. So this is how the mind can create trouble. And therefore, yes, what you say is correct. Not just in the family, but within the individual, the fight goes on. The mind. And there are some people that they don't even know. They're not even able to recognize that there's a fight. They just follow the flow. To make this easy, and follow the flow, then go to jail. So she ended up being in jail, being jailed. And you know what? When she was on parole, when she came out, when they released her from jail, she was told never to cross ways with this boy. But no. She was put to jail again because she never followed the judicial injunction. She was in jail. She gave birth to the boy's child. See, sometimes we talk about this, they talk about disaster, and then we think it's something very abstract. No. Right here on this planet, right here, it's happening. How we become slaves to the mind and the senses. And that fight goes on from within. The family is even big. Within the individual. Another case of another female teacher, she was connecting with, again, her husband was the principal of that school. And she got attracted to a 17-year-old boy. A 17-year-old boy in America is, except you ask their age. How would you know? Because they're so big. Oh, yeah. And then she realized that danger is coming. So she takes the boy and said, "Hey, stop. If I get caught, I will go to jail." So one would have thought, okay, she had realized the problem there. Said a full stop. No. She went out with this boy. And then the boy comes back, and then she started boasting to all of the girls in her class. And the girls were completely angry. So they reported the matter to the principal. That's how that teacher was arrested. She lost her husband. She lost her job. She went to jail. So family, the comparison of a family is even big. Inside, the mind gives us such nasty trouble. And if we say we just follow the flow, see, the 10th director for International Monetary Fund, he's called Strauss-Kahn. He's a French guy. He went to one of the best schools in France, studied economics, became eventually the director for International Monetary Fund. You know how he lost his job? The mind. He had a beautiful wife in France. He came to New York, here in New York. In hotel, he got attracted to a maid in hotel. He was arrested. At that time, one of his daughters was schooling in one of the Ivy Leagues here. Can you imagine the type of trauma that behavior could bring to that girl? Father was arrested, put to jail. They tried him, they found him guilty, put him to jail. That's how he lost his job. So, spiritual life, we may say, well, I don't have anything to do with spiritual life, but if even we don't have anything to do with spiritual life, just for our own sanity, social sanity and protection. No, we need to practice to become, to enable us to become human beings who can say no to bad ideas from the mind. We need it. And it just begins with the chanting. That's how it works. And the chanting does a lot of amazing things. If you understand the benefits, the unsolicited benefits, we call the side effects, there's so many. Good ones. The side effect of, for instance, chemotherapy is horrible. Sometimes, you lose your ears. Yeah. But the side effects for chanting, they are all good ones.
You also lose your hair.
You don't lose your hair.
Do it voluntarily.
You shave.
Are there rules for chanting? Can you go
Yeah.
rules for chanting?
Yeah, there are rules.
Mm-hmm.
Primarily there are 10 offenses, but Lord Chaitanya said that we should chant in a humble state of mind. Like lower than the straw in the tree, more humble than the tree. In other words, for us to be able to expedite our progress in devotional chanting, we should be humble. And now, people can miscue that term, that humility. And humble doesn't mean that we should be stupid. Humble doesn't mean that we should not be cognizant of our rights. You know why the Kurukshetra war was fought? Violation of human rights. And Krishna said, no, go, no, you have to go. This is your right. Go claim it. They refused. I tried to create an amicable situation, but they refused. So, all right, go for the fight. What does that tell us? It means that even if we are trying to chant Krishna's name, we should not be unduly humble that someone will sell our rights to somebody. No, we shouldn't do that. But someone should not do something criminal against us, and then we just say, "Oh, this is my karma." No. Krishna would have said, they told the Pandavas, "Hey, it's your karma, you know." He said, "No, go fight for it." Go fight for it, yeah. Sometimes, we misinterpret the philosophy to our own detriment. So being humble is a good thing. Humble, taking ourselves to be very low. And that will help us to cry out to the holy names, like Prabhupada would say, like a baby who wakes up from bed, looks around, none of the parents is there, start crying. So we should chant the mode of crying. Okay? Thank you very much for participating in this Krishna consciousness.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you, Maharaj.
You're welcome.
Wonderful.